Three, two, one, go. It's 10:06 in the morning on Wednesday, September 25th here in Florida. The sun is kind of out. It's kind of gray outside. We're getting ready for storms to come through Florida. And hopefully it won't be bad. If you're in Florida, pay attention to your favorite weather source. And if you get an evacuation order, please leave. There doesn't seem to be much fear in the governor's office and the emergency management agency that houses will come down. There just seems to be a concern of widespread flooding throughout the state, regardless of the path that Helene decides to take from the Yucatan Peninsula up through Florida and into the United States. If she comes up and goes straight north, she could cause some havoc down in the central area of Florida where Jerry Michaels is with the American Rebellion. She could continue up and leave her mark on beautiful Jacksonville where we are, and continue either east to Georgia and or west toward I don't know where she would go if she was going west. Probably out to California if she could get that far. I was talking to my mom yesterday, and she said my sisters who were way up in Humboldt County had a storm that wreaked some havoc out there, and they're probably not in the best spot for a storm. They're on top of a mountain in Humboldt County. They have the highest spot, I think, on the mountain. So they could probably see storms that are pretty bad right out there. Plus, they're not in the winter, so they don't get snow, but they're probably high enough that I have to ask my sister. They are up high enough that they probably could get snow if it did happen. But anyway, I digress. It is Wednesday morning, the 25th. The daily regurgitation is still the same. It is important that you go out and vote on November 5th, as long as there is an election on November 5th. Or you can vote early. Go vote early, or go vote on November 5th. Either way, go vote. Again, I don't care who you vote for at this point. I really don't. Okay? If you are happy with the way the Biden-Harris administration has taken us through the last 4 years, then vote for 4 more years that might be slightly 4 more worse years than Joe Biden, because Kamala Harris will be in charge and she claims to be sane. So you go ahead and do that. I'm going to counter your going and doing that, because for the last 3.5 of the 4 years that she has been vice president, she has been border czar. And as border czar, her job is to strengthen the southern border, not weaken the southern border. Not allow 50 million illegal people to hop, skip, jump, and walk into the United States and decide they're going to be here. I don't care why they claim they came here at this point, because if they came to experience the American dream for themselves, they're certainly taking the American dream and making it the American nightmare for a lot of American citizens. We're being taxed up the hilt so that illegal immigrants living here in the United States, for whatever reason they're here, are being showered with the American dream, and taxpayers are paying record taxes, record high taxes to support them. All because we're being told that we're supposed to do that. We're supposed to welcome them into the United States of America with open arms and support them for the rest of their lives while they're here, because we don't deserve to support ourselves anymore. 25,000, 50,000, 150,000. I don't care how much they're saying each day, because it changes almost every day, how much they're giving illegal immigrants to buy a house. I'm going to continue saying they're going to be able to buy a house because mortgage companies are going to stand up left and right to write mortgages for these people so that they can get their hands on the 25, 50 or $150,000 that these people are getting to buy homes, because you can't buy a home really for $150,000. You make a nice down payment on a home with $150,000. So they'll get your $150,000. Then when you default on your home payments because you're an illegal alien or an illegal resident living here, you don't have a job, you don't have the means of paying for your house, your rent, your mortgage, whatever. It's a bad mortgage, and BlackRock is going to sweep in and buy your house for pennies on the dollar and rent it to you as long as you pay rent. And if you don't pay rent, they're going to take it and they're going to find somebody who can afford to pay rent, because they want to be the largest owner of single family homes in the United States, and they're determined to do it. And you buy a home, say you buy a home for $120,000. You put whatever, $150,000. You don't make your payments, they're going to swoop in, and when that property goes up for auction, they're going to swoop in and buy it. They're not going to pay $150,000. They're going to pay a lot less. And they're going to keep doing that and keep doing that and keep doing that and keep doing that until somebody's in Washington, D.C. say, hey, no, you can't do that. You're going to inflate the prices of homes for American citizens who want to buy a home and can't buy a home. You're going to wreak havoc in the mortgage system because the mortgage companies lost all this money when all of these 50 million homes get repossessed, that a lot of them are going to go out of business, and it will be very hard for you to buy a home. Plus, with BlackRock buying them all as quickly as they can, there won't be any really to buy. If you're able to secure the money to maybe acquire a piece of land, or you have a piece of land, then you can build a home on it. Good luck. I hope you do it. Your home is the most important thing that you have. I used to joke when I had people working under me and or for me or with me that your home is your most important thing that you have. That's where you live. That's your protection from the outside. And, maybe it's going to become like Elon Musk talked about a year or so ago. You can buy a Tesla with a foldable Tesla home, and you just drive onto a pad, and you have a pad built. And when you decide that you have to move, you put that pad up for sale, or you give it back to whoever, and you stop renting that pad, and you fold up your home and hitch it to your Tesla, and you drive on someplace else. Or they build 15-minute cities, which, as far as I'm concerned, are the closest thing to a concentration camp as I want to look at, because you'll move into this 15-minute community. You won't need to leave that 15-minute community because a grocery store will be there, all the shops that you need, restaurants will be there, and you'll never need to leave, unless maybe you leave your 15-minute city to go visit somebody else in another 15-minute city, and who knows if that will even still be allowed anymore. Maybe it's all just conspiracy theory and not just from conservative patriots, but maybe it's just conspiracy theories from everybody to scare us and keep us in line. Uh, it must be working on Facebook to some extent because every morning I log on and in my newsfeed is a post from somebody. They've been silenced by Facebook through October 17th. They can't post in groups. If they're an admin, they can't do anything in those groups. If they're the group owner, they can't do anything in those groups. All you can do is read them. And, I hope when it's said and done, President Trump is back in the White House, or even Kamala Harris is back in the White House. Somebody in either administration says, hey, it's time to ask the FCC, who has regulatory authority over the internet, just like they have regulatory authority over telephone companies and radio stations and TV stations and networks and all of that, why they haven't exercised the regulatory authority they have over social media networks on the internet. Because if a TV station or a network of TV stations or a network of radio stations or a radio station pulled half the crap that Facebook gets away with pulling every day, they would lose their licenses. A lot of licenses, or at least one license where the violation happens all the time, or get fined so big that maybe they would end up losing their license because they couldn't afford to operate any longer. As far as I'm concerned, if you want to be a social media network on the internet, you should be licensed or permitted the same way a radio station or a TV station has to be licensed to be a public trustee of the airwaves. You should be licensed or permitted the same way. And if you violate those rules, then you get a fine just like they do, and or you get shut down for a period of time, or maybe you get shut down forever. There comes a time when you have to operate the same as everybody else. You can't just do what you want because you're not a publisher. And the solution is, if you want to do whatever you want to turn people off so that they can't talk in groups, they can't write in groups, they can't be in certain groups, they can't talk to certain people on Facebook, then become a publisher and then go ahead and do that. Because when you become a publisher, you're all of a sudden going to remove all of the people that you don't want on Facebook. And the truth is, as far as I'm concerned, you really want conservative patriots on Facebook as much as you want leftist, Democrat, socialist wingnuts. Because if it was just leftist, communist, socialist wingnuts on Facebook talking to themselves, it would be as boring as it would be if it was just conservative patriots talking to ourselves on Facebook. We need to be with each other. We need to agree to disagree on certain things. We need to agree on certain things. That's what social media was created for, other than to be the biggest online advertising agency in the world. And they even screw that up. They nail you if you create an ad for things that break the Facebook community standards, but they don't nail these people. All of these new pages, I Love Diana, who doesn't report anything on Princess Diana. All they do is tell you about how unhappy Robert De Niro is living in the United States. And for every one of those websites that is posting on Facebook how bad Robert De Niro has it in the United States, you ought to have Robert De Niro doing a syndicated broadcast to all of your websites on Facebook, telling you how bad it really is. And the reason that you don't do that is that he'd become a gazillionaire with the license fees that he would charge you in order to try to post his story. And the truth is, really, nobody cares. The average American doesn't care if he is unhappy with the United States to the point where he wants to leave or he's happy with the United States because maybe Kamala Harris will become president and a president might respect him. Why? Why would they respect him? They don't respect the rest of us. We're wrong about everything. We're wrong about everything. We're wrong about when we tell with proof about things they did wrong. We're still wrong. We're wrong for doing that because we shouldn't do that. We should leave them alone and let them do that. Why? They don't leave us alone and let us do it. Other than Facebook does, as far as I'm concerned. They let me come on my broadcast and bitch about how Facebook treats me, how they treat other people, how they break this law, how they break that law. They don't really care. But, if I'm lucky, 155 people might see me during a broadcast and then it swells up from there. Or I go to log on to Restream this morning to set up today's broadcast and I don't have my Facebook connection. Well, there are only two ways I can lose my connection to Facebook. Either Restream, cut it, or Facebook, cut it. I don't imagine Restream is going to cut it because I pay them $19 a month so I can broadcast on Facebook. Facebook might cut it because they decide, they don't want my broadcast. Or they decide he was very rude because he yelled and screamed and got upset about something in his personal life and then ended his broadcast. I apologize for that, but you know what? Shit happens. And I got confused about something, and I wanted to deal with it right then and there, and it was not the right moment to deal with it. Good morning, Chuck Cook. I finally have, wait a minute, I have a few minutes to be here. Okay, and then you went on to say, give this a minute to load up. But everyone has their feelings, and we can't let them be butthurt. It is what it is. Not the world we used to live in, for sure. You're right, Chuck. You're right. It's not. Can it be? Sure. I keep trying to say the last few days, I don't care what anybody else wants to be. And I learned that from Jerry Michaels and other people. I don't care what you want to be. As long as what you want to be isn't being forced on your minor children who may or may not want to be that. I don't care what you and consenting adults do in the dark in your bedroom, but I don't have to know about it. But I do care when you're dragging your minor children to a place to watch it happen where children shouldn't be. Okay? I do care about it when parents go to school board meetings and try to protest about things that are happening in their children's classrooms, things that are in their children's classrooms. And it's not just this whole big transgender thing or sending your kid home and your kid believes that he or she's a cat or whatever. It's a lot of things. Religion should not be in your classroom unless you're a religious school. If you're a public school, religion should not be in your classroom. You technically should not have the Ten Commandments hanging in your classroom because it's a religious rule. Okay? It shouldn't be in there because a Muslim child in that classroom may not follow that. I have opposed prayer in the public school for a long time because if you have 30 different religions in the classroom, you have to break up the classroom so that this one takes that corner, this one takes that corner, this one gets that space. And by the time they get down to the prayer and put the classroom back together, it's time for them to leave and go on to the next classroom. So have a club that meets before school starts, after school is done, and do whatever you want to do. But then don't get mad at me when I say if you allow Christians to have a club and Episcopalians to have a club and Jews to have a club and Orthodox Jews to have a club and the parents of devil worshippers get upset because they're not allowed to have a club. You can't do that. If you're going to allow religions to have a club, then you have to allow every religion to have a club in the public schools. It's a private school that teaches education on a devil worshiping curriculum, then that's what they're going to learn. And if you don't want your children to learn that, then don't send them there. Have an open mind and listen to what other people's religions are. You don't have to agree with them. They don't have to agree with yours, but at least listen and have somewhat of an understanding. Agree to disagree. As I keep saying, I think a lot of the religious problems or wars going on in the world that are based on religion and different thoughts, Hamas and Israel, could be settled if they could once and for all sit down and understand that on the West Bank and the Gaza Strip, not just Israeli citizens who are Jewish and have a set of beliefs are going to live there. You're going to have Palestinians who believe how they believe, and maybe Muslims who believe how they believe, and Catholics who believe how they believe. As long as everybody can live together, that's the way it should be. Where you go on Sunday to pray, or where I go to pray on Friday night, or high holidays where I go, where I'm married, where you're married. Being buried is a big waste of time as far as I'm concerned. It makes more sense to be cremated and take up less space, and don't worry about at some point harming the earth when your casket turns into dust and you become one with the earth. But who am I? I'm just here to tell you that next Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern and next Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern will be the end of the 10 a.m. Eastern Monday and Wednesday morning caffeines. I made that decision because I would like to spend more time and more effort putting the 7 p.m. Tuesday and Thursdays together for the time being. And so that's what I'm going to do. Same thing as they are in the morning. If you want to be on the broadcast, we go live at 7 p.m. Let me know by 6 p.m. And if there are already 9 cameras, then I'll either see if we can bump somebody off at some point to bring you on, or we'll have to plan you on one and not have somebody else. And we've never had that problem, but if we ever had you, we will deal with it with a fair and equal understanding so that everybody gets a chance to come on and say whatever is on their mind. And if you're butthurt about something, come on and tell everybody why you're butthurt about something. But there's no reason to be butthurt. There's no reason to be angry at everybody. There's no reason for everybody to be angry at you. Get up, live your life for you and your family. And if somebody's butthurt with you and your family, well, stay away from you and your family. And if you're butthurt with somebody, stay away from them and their family. We have to agree on some things for the greater good of the country, or agree to disagree on things for the greater good of the country. As far as I'm concerned, we need to return critical controls that the government thinks they have over us back to us. No more Department of Education in Washington, D.C. because they're corrupting the curriculum so bad it's not worth it being taught. Okay? They're not allowed to have religion in their schools, and some of the things they're teaching are borderline religion. And some of the things that they're teaching are just borderline science, doesn't back them up. It seems that the scientists on both sides seem to agree, although the Democrat side doesn't like to acknowledge it, that you can claim to be a transgendered male whose body is now a female, but you can't. It's not that easy, and your brain doesn't just say, "Okay, I'm now a girl." You can do whatever you want to do to make your brain think that you are a girl, but it's changes to your body that your brain doesn't all of a sudden click on one day and go, "Now I'm Davida." And in some cases, as far as I'm concerned, people who did this are hypocrites. I will continue to say that Bruce Jenner is one of the biggest hypocrites I have ever heard of, because he said that he knew by the time he was 8 years old that one day he was going to have to make this change. He didn't work toward it until long after he had made gazillions of dollars, had accolades of being one of the best athletes, if not the best athlete in the world. Made sure, the way I see it, made sure that Caitlyn never had to work another day in her life. She had enough money to support her if she couldn't get a job. Made sure that she had enough money to get the best transgendering done that she could, and the best support for doing it. All while he was too afraid to tell his father the truth because he was afraid he'd lose being one of the best athletes in the world and wouldn't be on the Wheaties box anymore. Whether or not Taylor Swift lost $125 million in endorsements and that Coke was one of the endorsements has yet to be proven, because Coke hasn't come out, or I haven't read anywhere where Coke has come out and said, yes, we pulled our endorsement away from Taylor because she endorsed Kamala Harris. And one day you read, yes, she did lose $125 million, and the next day you read, no, it was satire. Disinformation. Misinformation. I said yesterday that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC, did a video the other day that wanted you to think that it should be against the law, or it is against the law, to do misinformation and disinformation on social media. And I'm sitting there looking at my screen going, it is. But then explain why you, an elected representative, is on here making me, an American citizen who has a constitutional right of free speech, to say anything I want on Facebook. It's illegal. It's not illegal. Constitution gives me freedom of speech. I can go into every group chat here on Facebook and type fire. I can go all over Facebook and type fire. Doesn't mean that there is one. Got your attention, but we can say anything we want. We can talk about anything we want. We can Republican bash. We can Democrat bash. We just have things that we agree to disagree on and things that we can, like I said, come together for the greater good of the country. Good morning, Pat O'Grief. Blessings to you today, and blessings to you today, and anybody else who is here watching the daily regurgitation, as I called it this morning. Less than 40 days now to the November 5th election, if it happens. And, I haven't seen anything that makes me think that it's not going to happen, but, they talk about on their side, things that they think they can do, get us into a war or something, and then they can postpone the election or this, that, and the other thing. I think that would be the worst thing for them to do right now. Whether or not they have plans to steal the election, win the election legally or not, to do anything that would interrupt with the election right now would be weaponizing the use of an election against American citizens. And that, to me, should be the worst high crime and treason that there is. Because that's the only thing we really have. We have the vote to elect these people. We have the vote to remove these people. We have the vote to send them to Washington to do what we want them to do and not to do what we don't want them to do. And sooner or later, it gets taken away and they do whatever the hell they want. And there's more money than God. I read yesterday that Nancy and Paul Pelosi had something like 2,000 shares of stock in some big company. I didn't make a note because it wasn't important, but evidently Paul had gotten news that the value of the stock was going to drop, and he sold 2,000 shares, which were worth somewhere between $500,000 and $1 million. Insider trading again. If I own 2,000 shares of stock in a company and they told me, get rid of your stock, the price is going to go down, that's insider trading. I would have got nailed to the wall over it. So I don't know why, if it's not okay for us, it's okay for them. Obviously, we don't pay them enough money. $174,000 a year isn't enough money for them to do the job, because there's all the money under the table that they get. There's all the money over the table that they get. There's all the money right in front of our faces they get to do whatever they want them to do. And we talk about lobbying shouldn't be legal anymore. We talk about lobbying money shouldn't be legal anymore. Gifts shouldn't be legal anymore. You get a gift or money from somebody, you have to report that you got that. If it's enough that you have to recuse yourself from future votes, that's what you should do. But if you had to report every gift or every dollar that you got, just in case you have to recuse yourself, they'd probably figure out a way to get around that. And both sides would. Not just Democrats, Republicans would, independents, whatever parties there are. I am starting to think more and more, as Jen Woodruff pushes a lot, Jonathan Garcia pushed a lot, that it's time for a convention of states. The only problem is that concept is so screwed up that it's red and blue governors have to push a majority of the states, I think it's 32 out of 50, to do it. And then it's going to be those elected representatives in the House and in the Senate working with the governors and doing it. So you're going to take the people who you think screwed this country up, put them in charge of straightening it out, relaunching the country, and hoping that it's going to be different. You let me know how that turns out. And other people say, well, we need to find people who have never served before and only allow them to get elected and serve. You don't think the people that are paying the money, that own this representative, that representative, this senator, that senator, you don't think that sooner or later it's all going to get back to them again? Think about this. Congress decides when they get a raise. They decide how much a raise it's going to be, and we're stuck paying for it. This is another congressional midterm, as far as I'm concerned, where I keep telling you they're going to give themselves $26,000 raise and take $200,000 a year plus all the illegal money that they get. As far as I'm concerned, you want that $26,000 raise? You show me that you're not taking $26,000 in campaign contributions that want to buy you to do certain things, lobbying money that wants to buy you to do certain things, vote certain ways. You're going to do the job the way it's supposed to be. You're going to be home in your district offices when you need to be. You're going to be in Washington, D.C. voting when you need to be. Do the job the way the job is supposed to be done. I'm probably in line to give you a $26,000 a year raise. You get the best medical care in the country, Congress care. There's nothing that beats it other than what the president has, and it's pretty much the same as what he and his family get. I don't know what to tell you. Our border is not secure after having a border czar for almost 4 years. And a president who evidently sold completed sections of the Trump wall that never got put up. And who knows what happened with that money. We do know that the panels were sold because evidently where they were stored, they're gone. And they're gone because it was costing us $166,000 per day per panel. But that's the same president that decided we had too much strategic oil reserved and basically sold it to China. He didn't give it to China in ways that he was allowed to release it to China. The rules say you can't take from your strategic oil reserve and give to another country that's a member of this particular organization of countries in the event that that country is about to run dry of their oil and not have any oil. So it's like a humanitarian aid thing. You can give them some of our reserves to help make sure they have oil. China is nowhere near running out of oil or the ability to buy oil. Where that money went, again, who knows? But we can go back to other things. Everybody knows. Everybody acknowledges. Republicans and Democrats acknowledge that Hillary Clinton sold the United States piece of uranium-1, the largest uranium mine on Earth, sold our piece to the Russians. And Putin acknowledges that we did this. Or she did this. Nothing happened. Explain to me why nothing happened. $6 billion was missing from the State Department when she left. She's never had to tell us where it is. I don't know. You get who you elect. You either get someone who does the job and or doesn't do the job. And if they're not doing the job, you should move them out. Chuck Cook, thank you for watching. Stay safe. Tonight, 7 p.m., I'm planning on being on the American Rebellion for a bit. You can watch it here on Facebook on the American Rebellion group and on the American Rebellion blogger page, I believe. And you can watch it over on Wimkin, WIMKIN.com. A good conservative site if you're looking for conservative sites to add to your portfolio of social media. So catch me over there. Then tomorrow night is Thursday. Anybody and everybody who wants to be in the live chat is more than welcome to be in the live chat. There's a live chat on my profile. There's a live chat on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. I'm going to do an abbreviated Xander Gibb Memorial pre-rehearsal this morning. And send it out to a few groups. I'm not going to send it out to everybody. Mega News Nation, you've got it. I think you got it twice. Red Patriots for America, you've got it. Deceit, compliancy, you have it. I had trouble saying it yesterday. I tried 3 times to say it yesterday. But Conservative Freedom Defenders, Art Sessions Group, you've got it. Stand with Trump, you've got it. The Red MAGA Nation, you've got it. Donald Trump Group, Red MAGA Nation, you got it twice. Donald Trump Group, you've got it. Patriot Force, you've got it. United Patriotic News with Roland Hatton, you've got it. Boogie with the Bull, my group, you got it. Freedom Fighter, you've got it. American Regulators, you've got it. The World United is one against government overreach, you've got it. Street Fighters, you've got it. Hug for Freedom Florida, you've got it. We need to get some of the Hug for Freedom decals to someone here in Florida and start selling them and getting them put on cars and trucks and everything we can. Pissed Off Patriots, Geo Mega Man's group, you've got it. When he can make time, he'll be here. Trump Times, you've got it. And Trump's New Generation, you've got it. And yes, Fonda, I promise if it doesn't post because there is no headline on it, even though there is a headline on it, I will go in and I will make sure that there is a headline on it. Friends who like Red Flag News, you've got it. Sometimes this works in saying, doing the Xander Gibb Memorial pre-rehearsal and naming the groups that I put it in gets them watching. Sometimes it doesn't. Republicans Against Corruption, you've got it. Take Your Country Back, another Fonda and Wanda group, you've got it. That makes me laugh every morning when I think about that. Every evening when I think about it too. Twin sisters. One is Fonda, Fonda, and the other one is Wanda, Wanda. And I can only imagine a set of parents with a sense of humor would do something like that. Oh, there's nothing wrong with the name Wanda or the name Fonda. Make America Florida, another one of, I believe, Wanda's groups. You have it, and I think that's probably enough. I'll go back and look. That's 31, so that's plenty. If you like the broadcast, take and share it with your friends. If you didn't like it, take it and share it with your friends and tell them why you didn't like it. Then make sure you get a hold of me and tell me why you didn't like it. You want to be on a broadcast? Like I said, you only have about a week left. The 10 a.m. You got to let me know by 9 a.m. Eastern, and the 7 p.m.s like tomorrow night, you got to let me know by 6 p.m. so that I can make sure there is a camera for you to be on. And if for any reason there is not a camera available for you to be on, if we actually had 10 cameras going on a Tuesday or a Thursday, then we try to schedule you in on the next one. But let's see. Chuck Cook watched in the live chat over here on my Facebook profile. No one watched over on the live chat on Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. Not many people watched it. We don't publicize that it's there. YouTube does, but not enough to get people over there to watch it. And I never took it to try to grow it and make it something big on YouTube. I took it because I needed a place where each broadcast would be recorded and saved until they either kicked me off or I managed a way to download every broadcast that was on YouTube to make sure I have them. And that's what we someday hope to do. But live well and prosper. It's 10:52. We gave you a little less than an hour. It was 10:06 when we started, so we owe you the difference tomorrow night. So come to the table tomorrow with something you want to talk about, comment on, or otherwise bring into the conversation. I don't know who will be here tomorrow night. Jen Woodruff was going to be here last night, but then something happened. I didn't see her on screen. She was waiting for me to bring her on, but then people showed up at her house, and she had to not be with us. I guess Juju's prom must be happening pretty soon because she said that people came over with prom dresses, and they were showing prom dresses to Jen. So it must be prom season. Actually, one of my most not enjoyed but favorite seasons of the year in the limousine business. Because anything you have with four wheels and two doors, if it comes down to it, four doors preferred or more, but anything you had in your lot with four wheels and two doors, if it came down to that, and I'm even talking about hearses, everything you had would be booked and going out, and kids always had a great time. In the latter years, it became a problem where the parents would hand me or one of my drivers a box and say, you don't need to worry about what's in the box, just put it in the trunk, and when you drop them off at the hotel, give them the box. And the drivers would then call me when they dropped the kids off and tell me that that's what was sitting in the trunk. And I would come out there, if I could, and open the box, or tell them to open the box. And if they said it was a box of alcohol, I would call the parents back and go, no. I will bring the box to you, but I am not bringing the box. I'm not leaving the box with them at a hotel. Matter of fact, I'm not even leaving the box in the car. We would tell kids, we made kids sign contracts with their parents that promised there would be no booze, no drugs, no illegal activity in the car. That if they damaged the car, that their parents would get a bill for fixing it. But, you're young, go off and enjoy it. It's probably one of the greatest nights of your life before you become an adult and move on into the real world. And don't mess it up with getting drunk and doing something stupid. Just don't do it. Or figure out another way to get it to you. I remember one prom, which I think was probably the last prom I drove. It was in Massachusetts, I believe. And they begged me to do it because I had a car and they couldn't get a car anyplace else. And I said, and they signed, no drugs, no booze, nothing. They got picked up 2 hours before they had to be at the prom because I guess they had people that were going to watch for the limousine at different places and buy the booze for them and give it to them. And unfortunately, that didn't happen. It did happen at the last place they went to, and it only happened because I was out of the car at the time and didn't see what they were putting into the trunk. And as soon as I realized it, they went home to their parents. Actually, they went home to their parents, and the parent of the child who was the senior parent booking the car was in the car waiting for them when the prom ended, and then got into the car. But, don't do anything stupid. Just go out and have fun. And if you're going to do something stupid, meaning that you want to drink, coordinate it with all of your parents and do it at somebody's house and just do it. And I hope that that parent doesn't get nailed for getting minors drunk, because that's something that seems to happen as soon as somebody's kid gets home from another parent's house and they come home drunk. That seems to happen. So think about what you may or may not do if it's prom season. Prom season should be great. It should be just the end of your child school years, and you're embracing the adult world and going out there and hopefully going to college. Maybe you're just going on to a job and establishing yourself in the world. So don't ruin it. And on that note, I'm going to stop rambling. Pat O'Grief, you have a great day too. Anybody who watched, you have a great day. If you watched and you weren't in the live chat, then you got away with watching and not being in the live chat today, because my Android monitors have decided to quit, and I'm probably not going to deal with them anymore. So I can't see in the live chat if you're watching. So I can't acknowledge you in the live chat knowing that you're watching until we figure out another way, and we're probably not going to worry about it. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get that. 26 people are watching, means that maybe we'll get it up to 52 or maybe 100, and it will grow up from there. Appreciate everybody who watches, everybody who shares. If we sent it to your group and it shouldn't be in your group today, then by all means delete it. If we didn't put it in your group and you wanted it in your group, let me know, and we will make sure we put it into your group. If you can't watch it while it's live and you want, we'll message it to you on Messenger, and we'll make sure you get it. And if you want to be a part of it, the door is always open. Come and be a part of it. There may be a few less in the coming weeks of them to do. It will probably become a spontaneous combustion of a morning caffeine on Monday and Wednesday, maybe from time to time. There will still be Red Friday morning caffeine with Bill Muckler. And we will move back into talking about 6 soft targets, Bill's idea of what he thinks went into planning and execution of 9/11. And when we finish that, we will take the 2020 books and start doing them 1 chapter a week, along with Bill's commentary. And we'll go from there until Bill decides he doesn't want to do it anymore. At 88, 89 years old, he deserves to have a life of not worrying about Facebook broadcasts. Great guy, funny guy at times, serious guy a lot. And that's all I'm going to say on that. So vote once. I don't care who you vote for. You can come explain to me who you voted for and why, if you wish. I personally think you should vote for Donald Trump because after 4 years of the Biden-Harris regime, I don't think Kamala Harris deserves 4 years to continue in directions that she's continued in. I don't see her as president securing the southern border. Taxes are going to go up off the wall. Like I keep saying, you bought a house for $25,000 and now your house is worth $500,000. She wants you to pay capital gains tax right now on the $475,000 in equity that is sitting in your house. You haven't gotten it yet, but it's there. You may never get it because you may never sell your house, and you may never need to pull out the equity. Then when you sell it, say you sold it for $1 million, you got to pay capital gains tax again on the million that you made. It's wrong. It's one or the other. Okay, that's actually only one. Capital gains taxes are you pay taxes on the capital that you gained, not pay taxes on the capital that you have in equity that's available. If you never use it, then why pay taxes on it? Anyway, 11:02, we're close enough to 11:06. So look for me tonight on the American Rebellion. I may make it an hour, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. I don't think I'll do the whole thing, but it depends on what we're doing tonight, what we're talking about tonight. And then tomorrow night is Thursday, 7 p.m. The Dave Glovin profile and on Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. You're more than welcome to be in the live chats. You're more than welcome to come on to the broadcast. You're more than welcome to come into the broadcast and ask for a link. I showed people last night how much fun it is to watch me copy the link from the browser and send it to someone on Facebook Messenger. You have to have Facebook Messenger if you want me to send you the link while we are live. If you need to get links emailed to you, then we can't do it while we're live because it just takes too long to copy the link, open up Gmail, write you an email, click the link to you, and send it while we're trying to do it live, and we just don't need to do that. Anyway, I hope you go out and make it a fantastic day and be prepared for the weather that's coming. If you're here in Florida, make sure you get out and pick up everything that you need. The last thing that I heard yesterday while Donna and I were watching was Kevin, Governor DeSantis's emergency management chief, said, if you got a half a tank of gas in your car, go fill it up. If you got a half a charge in your electric vehicle, make sure you plug that in and charge it. As far as I'm concerned, go in and make sure all of your electronic devices in your house, your cell phone, your tablets, your laptops are all charged, because just because you don't have electricity in your house doesn't mean you don't have internet. Your cable company didn't lose their electricity and you can get to them, you have internet. So you at least have some means of staying informed of what is going on in the outside world. If you get the order to evacuate, grab what you need, get in your car, and go. They said that one city in every county in Florida should have a pet-friendly shelter. What you might want to do is call your city hall and find out where, if there is one in your city or where the nearest one to you is, and call them and find out what is involved. How many pets are you allowed to bring with you? And the last thing is make sure your senior neighbors are all set up. They have everything they need. Maybe get a list from them, go to the grocery store and pick it up for them. Maybe take them with you if that's what they want. And help make sure that they're stocked up. If they lose their power and you still have power, go across the street and invite them to come and stay with you while you attempt to help them find a relative that they can stay with, or just let them stay with you. You know? Because in times like that, everybody needs to help everybody. It doesn't matter if you're a Republican, American neo-Nazi. It doesn't matter if you're a Jew or a non-Jew or anything else. Anyway, it's now 11:06, so we gave you an hour. Your tickets were processed. And like I said, 7 o'clock tonight, Eastern time. Adjust yourself accordingly. On the American Rebellion, you'll probably see me for about an hour. And then tomorrow night, join me and whoever joins me for the Thursday Night Live broadcast. And the daily regurgitation ends right about now. I got to scroll this part of the screen down to get